Welcome. I want to thank you for joining us this evening on our special topic on cellular nutrition and anti-aging. I decided to talk about this because recently I've been getting asked a lot from just people at the gym and people in my life and comments on, wow, you've been doing this for how long now? And yes, it's been 32 years that I've been using these amazing supplements. And 32 years ago, I didn't feel very well. I was in my 20s. I was working as a police officer. I was tired. I was stressed. I was really run down. And I was getting concerned because my mom, who was in her 40s, was really struggling. And I thought, is that going to be me in 20 years? And I used to joke around with my coworkers because I was a police officer and I worked with all guys and it was interesting. I'd always joke around and say, I feel old. And I knew it had to do with my shift work. And but even before that, I was always tired and it never went away. I was going on adrenaline. You know, when you're young, you just go, even though you're exhausted, you just push through. And I was even exercising, but I knew there was something not right. And it wasn't until I looked at this company that was recommended by a neighbor and a dear friend to try some of the supplements, they changed my life. I feel younger than now and I have to say late 50s because I had my birthday last week. I was mid 50s. Now I'm late 50s. I guess once you hit over that halfway point, but I feel younger in my late 50s than I did in my 20s and 30s. And how is that possible? Well, I'm hoping that I can shed some light and give you better understanding. And it's about lifestyle. It's about making some changes and filling the nutritional gaps in your diet. And Diane Clayton is one of our scientists on our scientific advisory board. And when she did this talk, I was in awe because she shared with me what she did in her 70s and the cycling and the running and the marathons. And I thought, holy moly, how does she do it? And she talked about nutrition being the key to cellular health and to keeping your cells young and healthy. And it's our responsibility to do that. We have to take care of ourselves. And when you're looking at cellular nutrition and anti-aging, you have to look at your chronological age, okay, which is your actual age, whether it be 29, 28, and then there's your biological age. And that is determined by your lifestyle and what you've done in your life. And so if you're 28 years old and you're smoking, 2 or 3 packs of cigarettes a day and you're 28 years old, you're probably not going to have an age or a chronological age of like 20. Okay. It's going to be a lot worse than that. So we're going to talk about the differences and how you can slow the aging and even reverse some of the damage that you've done to your cells, because it all starts at the cell. And biological age is a measurement of your age based on various biomarkers. So a number that can change due to lifestyle and other health factors. So knowing your biological age is an effective way of determining your rate of aging. And this is where I would love to have Laura May come on. She has a really cool story to share with you. When she shared this with me, I guess almost a year ago now, I think, Laura May. And I think this is ongoing. So I'd love for you to share your journey and just the health challenges and the impact the products have made. And then when you went to go see one of your specialists, what he said to you. Laura May Culver, thank you for joining us.
Hi, Nada. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me come on tonight. So yes, my story is that I used to be a stressed out single mom, and I worked full time in an exhausting career. And I had a lot of digestion issues. I lacked sleep. I was running around after 2 little kids that were sick all the time. And I just didn't feel good. And I wondered if I'd ever feel good again. And I thought to myself, is this the way life is going to continue? And so I was fortunate to meet Nada, and we were at the skateboard park. Her boys were there, my boys were there. And she saw, I think she could see after years of her own nutritional supplementation, that she could see that I looked different than she did and that maybe she could help me out. And I didn't have to live like that. And so I did. I was willing to look at the whole food products, and I started on a regimen that helped me with my energy, helped me with digestion. Digestion is a big part, I would say, in making sure everything's working properly, as it were. And I was able to also support my cells with the cellular nutrition of Neolife. And so I now can say, 12 years later, that in comparison to who I was then and who I am now, I feel like I have more energy. I was able to get the energy to be able to run after those little ones. And now they're not so little anymore, although I still feel like I run after them. And now I'm actually about to come up in November in my 53rd birthday. And I have a hard time believing it because I have so much energy and so much vitality. And so I do have a medical practitioner in my life. He's a Chinese medical practitioner. He's a traditional Chinese medicine practitioner that I go to for acupuncture. And when he tests me, I don't know if you've ever been, but they go through a very specific testing. And one of the main tests is what he calls your interior impulse. And so when he tests me, and he's seen me quite a few times in the last 2 years, he always says, "Oh, Laura May, you have such a good impulse." He said, you haven't started aging. You're getting younger on the inside. You're getting younger on the inside. And so by now I should have the indicators of a full-blown menopausal, if not past that. I have biologically moved into menopause, but he said that I'm at the point of pre-menopausal. And he said, "What are you doing?" And I always tell him what I'm doing. So it's amazing. It's an amazing experience to have somebody sit down with you many times over, anecdotally over many meetings, to say that ultimately I'm getting younger on the inside. So he says, "Laura May, you have a good impulse. Impulse is good." So yes, so I'm happy to say that in comparison to 12 years ago, I actually feel like a whole new person, and I'm excited about all the adventures I'm going to have as I move into my midder age and older and beyond. So yes,
awesome.
pretty excited. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Laura May. And I remember meeting you 12 years ago. You didn't look well, and to look at your skin and your eyes, and we call it the Neolife glow, and definitely helped you in that slow aging category. So thank you so much for sharing. I really appreciate that tonight. But when you look at what's going around in the world, there is an epidemic. I mean, the chronic disease in the rise. There's heart disease, cancer, diabetes, stroke, chronic respiratory diseases, and this is worldwide. Okay, so we really need to look at what's going on around the world and even around you. When you look at all the people that and the struggles and the leading causes of death and disability are these diseases. When you're looking at heart disease, stroke, cancer, type 2 diabetes, obesity, arthritis, they are the most common, costly, and preventable of all health problems. Okay, so we have to remember, they're preventable, and it's something that you can, really take control. And once you start making some decisions, and it's time to end that trend. Okay, so the good news, the solution is clear. We can look at weight management and physical activity, and a diet that's rich in whole food nutrients and whole grains, fruits and vegetables and fatty fish. And there's a challenge, a huge challenge. And, it sounds easy. I mean, when you look at, when was the last time, you ate the 5 to 7 servings of whole grains and 5 to 13 servings of colored fruits and vegetables and omega-3 fish all in one day? Right? So reality check. I mean, most people don't even come close. And that's the challenge that we're having when you look at, how many servings of fruits and vegetables, how many servings of omega-3, and how many servings of whole grain. We're failing in that department. And, the problem is obvious. And I'm not saying we all eat like this, but when you look at our younger generation and our kids today, it's scary. They're getting too much of the bad stuff and not enough of the good stuff. And so it's huge. And And Mary Ellen, we have a holistic nutritionist actually on the line tonight. And Mary Ellen, as a holistic nutritionist, and maybe you can share a little bit about even some of the changes that the Canadian Food Guide has made, and some of the other things that are going on.
And thanks, Nana, for asking me to share it. Yeah, I was very excited in 2019 when they actually updated the Canadian Food Guide. And as you can see, half of our plate should be all those dark colored fruits and vegetables. And a quarter should be good quality protein, and a quarter should be whole grains, which is kind of tough to get, but you can get it from rice and from quinoa. And be sure to make water your drink of choice. So that's so important.
And what's the challenge now? What about this study that just came out?
Yeah, you know, we've heard this in Neolife for years about how we're lacking those whole grains, fruits and vegetables. And it was really interesting because this study actually even capitalized even higher, because what it said, it's not what we're eating, but it's what we aren't eating that's killing us. And this study was done in 95 countries around the world. And what they found is just what Neolife has been saying since the day that I got introduced back 29 years ago, that we're lacking those whole grains, low fruit, nuts and seeds, omega-3s, and low vegetables.
Mm-hmm. And here's a product, right, that helps to fill that nutritional gap, Mary Ellen. And this is something that when I looked at this 32 years ago, I knew I had to do something, but I didn't know what. And when I saw these whole food nutrients that Neolife had to offer, it made sense. I thought, okay, I'm going to give this a try. And I'm going to talk about some of these key nutrients, but it's the science that's really powerful. And when you look at, these are scientists that are world renowned and the nutrition experts. And Dr. Arthur First was the pioneer in cancer research and toxicology. He put together the most brilliant minds. And one thing they all know for a fact is it's virtually impossible to get all the nutrients we need for critical disease prevention in our diet. So this is something that we really need to take a serious look at. So these 4 ingredients that are in this amazing little pack help to fill some of those gaps that Mary Ellen talked about in that study that came out of Lancet. But you have to feed your cells. And Laura May hit it on the nail when she said, you're getting younger on the inside. Well, all starts with the cells, and every single cell in your body does the same thing. It's surrounded by a fatty membrane, and that membrane allows nutrients in and waste out. That's a healthy cell, but most of our cells look like the cell on the left. Not all the nutrients are getting in and not all the waste is getting out, because that membrane, those essential lipids are gone. They're no longer in our food. They're milled out of our grains. Even in that Lancet study, it says we're not getting enough whole grains. These lipids and phytosterols are essential. They're no longer in our food, and they're causing our cells to look like the cell on the left, tired, sluggish, and aging. Okay, so Tran grain concentrate is something that Neolife launched back in 1958, and it was proven to help with nutrient utilization, so nutrients absorb better, help with cardiovascular development, and the growth and development. This was all published by a study that was conducted at Texas A&M University. So this product, one of these, is in this Vitality Pack that we're talking about. Okay, so that's one thing that's going to help your cells work better and help to slow aging. Carotenoids, fruits and vegetables, right? How many servings? Up to 10 to 13 servings a day. Well, this one carotenoid that's in this product was proven to boost your immune system 37% in 20 days and proven to protect your heart. So important for immunity, and it's made from peaches and tomatoes and carrots and red peppers. So all those dark colored fruits and vegetables that we're not eating enough of every single day. This plays a really big role in protecting your cells, okay, which plays a role as well in aging. Then there's our omega-3, our salmon oil. This was proven in an 8-week study to be bioavailable, cardioprotective, balance inflammation, which also causes aging, helps with reducing triglycerides. But what's really cool is reduces inflammation 68% in just 8 weeks, because chronic inflammation leads to chronic disease. Okay, and then there's a multivitamin. This is like a vitamin mineral supplement with iron to increase ability of red blood cells to carry oxygen, to feel vitality. So when you have this multivitamin pack, the energy that you feel is absolutely incredible. So filling the nutritional gap is key. And these supplements make a huge, huge difference. And then when you add protein, protein is also really important for weight management, reducing body mass index, cardioprotective, reducing our BMI. But what's really neat about our Neolife shake, it's delicious. Has 18 grams of protein, all 22 amino acids, 25 vitamins and minerals, a bit of fiber, but again, regulating blood sugar. Because what was one of those diseases that comes along with aging? Diabetes. This is so important for regulating blood sugar, keeping that blood sugar in that glycemic control zone. So clinically proven again for weight loss and body fat reduction, a BMI reduction, body size reduction, and cardioprotective benefits. Very important. And this breakfast solution that we just talked about is really part of ending the trend of chronic disease to help to slow aging. And I know, I think I saw Rose, we talked earlier today, Rose, are you able to share? I mean, and the reason why I want to pick on Rose today, because Rose has an incredible diet. She's a vegetarian. And Rose, maybe share a little bit of your aging journey, because you're aging gracefully as well. But when I met you, how many years ago now? Has it been 8 years? My goodness, I have to look back.
Oh gosh, I don't even remember. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's 8 years. And I just, for the record, I just have to say that I'm in my mid 50s. I have a week behind Nada. So I'm saying that we're the same age, but I'm not at her age just yet. But in any case, thank you for allowing me to share. Yes, I've been vegetarian all my life. And I think even Nada, you had said that, at that time, you're kind of on adrenaline. And I stopped eating meat at 13 because my mom was just basically tired of telling me to, like, forcing me to eat it. She's like, I don't know how she does it. She lives on air, which is truly what I did. I'm not a big eater. I've never been a big eater. But as I've gotten older, I did see that, you know what, I need to kind of do more to ensure that, yes, I age gracefully. And one of the things I always was challenged with was iron, right? I had low iron. I was anemic at many times, and I did lack protein in my diet. So when I did meet Nada, she explained all that, the importance of it. But also, like, I was suffering too from fatigue and just really, really low energy. And I was always very active. Like in my life, like previously I was a cross-country runner, and I love to run, I walk. And now, honestly, it's funny because when we talked about this, Nat, I realized that it was actually after I started taking all the supplements and stuff that I actually increased my regimen when it came to walking. And like I say walk, people laugh because it's like I power walk. So it's almost like a run, but I do it for like 2 to 3 hours, and I have the energy to do so. And I'm older, right? Like this is now, I actually have more energy, and I do a lot more than I did when I was like in my 30s raising kids. Yeah, it's hard, right? When you're raising kids, you're running around, you're doing all that, just feeling exhausted all the time. But, having Neolife in my diet continually, like with the supplements and then the shakes in the morning, which gives me the protein that I need, it gets me through the day. And now, like, I'm working and I have a very, like, busy job. Like I'm out on the road a lot, and I can make it through the day. Like, so it's awesome. And I can do that and come home and still do a walk and, take the time to do that when I have to during the day. And it truly is because of the supplements. And it's just like Nada, like I guess I've gone through menopause. I don't know. I remember telling my doctor, and she's like, yeah, I guess you're good. Like you're really good. So similar, I guess, to Laura May, right? Some things, like, we're probably younger inside than we were before. And it really is because of the Neolife difference. So yeah, thanks for letting me share.
Oh, thanks, Rose. And I have to say, I am like a little older than you. Maybe that's a good excuse for me not being able to keep up with you on your 2 or 3 hour walks. Because I have walked with this girl, and let me tell you, she's definitely the Energizer Bunny. And
yeah,
but you can really see the difference since you started using the supplements because of lacking protein in your diet, being a vegetarian, and I've seen that transition. So you're a lot stronger. just a lot stronger, and your cells are getting the nourishment that they need. And when you're looking at your cells, there's so much more involved. And when you're looking at, you know, science and cellular energy and bioenergetics, I mean, very complicated. So I'm not going to go into too much detail, but I do want to share that CoQ10 plays a really big role in the mitochondrial, and that's for energy and just for aging as well. So Tran Grain Concentrate is what Neolife, kind of how the company was founded, right, back in 1958. And when I talked to John Miller, one of our scientists, you know, a lot of people were asking me in the field, why doesn't Neolife have a CoQ10? Why doesn't Neolife have a CoQ10? Because it plays a really big role in cardiovascular health and other things in the body. And eventually Neolife launched the first and only natural CoQ10 on the market. And this product here is incredible for cellular health, to slow aging. It works at the cellular level. You know, we talked about the Tran and the grain oils and how it helps with keeping that cell wall permeable, right? So nutrients can get in, waste can go out. Well, there's a lot of activity happening in that wall, that cell membrane and that structure, the function in that cell wall. There's water on the inside, water on the outside, lipid layers, and very complicated. And, you know, when you're looking at the spark of life, I mean, the mitochondrial membranes, they actually do a lot of communication, a lot of energy transformation, and CoQ10 plays a huge role in continuing that communication. And CoQ10 levels decline with age. So here's another aging thing we're going to be talking about. So, you know, 100% when you're born of ubiquinine. I always have a hard time saying that word. It's a bit of a tongue twister. But let me tell you, when you hit 40, it goes down, and then 60 crashes, and 80, it declines without supplementation. This is something that even more doctors are becoming more aware that it's important to supplement. Okay, we need this. And our diets, yes, are deficient, and some of our food choices, I'm not saying I like this, but many do. And also when you're on medication, it also decreases further loss of CoQ10 in the body. Statins block CoQ10. And Marielle, being a holistic nutritionist, I know this is something that I know you're very aware of, and how CoQ10 plays a role in this pathway. Maybe you can explain a little bit more about your knowledge about CoQ10.
Yeah, it's very true, because a lot of people don't realize that every medication has a side effect, but especially with something like the cholesterol medications, because what they do is they shut down that pathway that allows the body to produce CoQ10. Because when they shut down the body producing cholesterol, they also shut down that pathway. And so when you're in that, sometimes, you know, like genetically or whatever, you need to take a statin. But if you do, you absolutely need to be supplementing with CoQ10. And as you said, Nada, most of the products out there are not from food-based CoQ10. So we don't really know how it works. But when you're in low in CoQ10, like, what do a lot of people complain when they're on statins? Or even if for other reasons, they start getting muscle pain, right? Their energy is low. But what the scary part is it actually can increase disease risk, like cancer, diabetes, heart disease, neurodegenerative diseases. That's diseases that affect the nerves. Even our cognitive decline. That's how well we think in like prevention of Alzheimer's, and even migraines, which is a problem that many people deal with. And I know that was something I suffered from for many years. And when I found the salmon oil really helped, but when I saw what CoQ10 could do, I thought, you know, that's probably a big deficiency, especially there was so much heart disease in my family as well.
Yeah, for sure. And here it is, right? Supports heart health and cellular energy, helps to slow aging, and it's naturally sourced. So when we launched this product just a few years ago, our scientists were so thrilled to give us this information. It took them 30 years of research to develop this incredible product. It has that phytolipid and sterol blend, and the proprietary polyphenol blend, and L-cysteine, and these are all nutrients that help with disintegration. So that means, like, there's dissolution and dispersion. So the body absorbs it and disperses it. Whereas a lot of products on the market, they're not utilized very well. So we call it the 3D advantage. So it's just absorbed and the body uses it and you get results and you feel good. If you think you have energy just on that breakfast solution, when you add the CoQ10, what a difference. So again, you know, we get that decline in CoQ10, the ubiquinine as it goes down. And then when you supplement with CoQ10, it keeps that journey level all the way as we're aging. So this is plays a key role in cellular energy to help to slow the aging process. Very, very important. So powerful nutrition to promote cellular energy, boost overall energy and stamina, cardiovascular health, muscle energy, like Mary Ellen talked about, muscle development and retention, reduces muscle pain and soreness associated with statin use, cognitive health, a healthy vision, hearing, and alleviate the chances of migraines. So again, this is CoQ10 playing a huge role and a huge factor in helping to slow aging. Again, naturally sourced and bioavailable. That is really, really important so you have a better understanding. So now let's talk about stamina, endurance, and circulation, more energy again, and from working out, and again, keeping a healthy heart, healthy brain, healthy immune system, and inflammatory response. So inflammation causes you to age faster, okay? Really important to slow aging. Now, there was a miracle molecule that was discovered 250 years ago called nitric oxide. And it was first discovered in 1772, okay, by an English scientist, an inventor, Joseph Priestley. And he identified several gases in our atmosphere, including nitric oxide and oxygen. Okay, so just remember that. This is going back over 226 years later, right? But the first role related to human health wasn't discovered until the 1990s. So nitric oxide is produced naturally in our bodies. 3 researchers received the Nobel Prize in medicine in 1998 for discovering that nitric oxide plays a key role in blood vessel relaxation. Okay, so just remember that, blood vessel relaxation. And that plays a huge role in how our cells function, how we age. So every single cell in your body, nitric oxide, is produced by virtually every cell in the human body, okay? And the cells use nitric oxide to communicate with each other. Critical for a wide variety of biological functions related to human health. This plays a huge role in cellular nutrition. So all of these things are critical. Okay, this is what nitric oxide does. So cardiovascular system, nervous system, immune system, respiratory system, urogenital system, excretory system. That's how elimination, right? With things that's important. Also the endocrine gland system. So again, hormones, really important. Our adrenals. Oh my gosh, this product alone that contains nitric oxide, what an impact it's making in people's lives. I mean, it is the foundation for human health. Again, helps with muscle force, increases the blood flow, regulates immune function, anti-inflammatory, healthy aging is what we're talking about, protecting the nervous system, memory, antiviral and antibacterial. So, you know, can we get this in our diet? It's a challenge. And it also, here's that word again, decreases with age, right? So, man, there's a lot of responsibility happening, right? When you start hitting that aging process. And if the body naturally produces nitric oxide, endothelial tissue, but our ability to produce nitric oxide decreases with age, okay? So it decreases up to 85% by the time we're in our 60s. That's kind of scary, okay? So how do we get this? Where do we get this? How do we get this back into our body? Because this low nitric oxide equals cellular aging. We got to make sure our cells are getting these nutrients, because what happens is when cells age, they need to die off. But if there's low nitric oxide, the cells do not die off. Okay, the aging cells accumulate and secrete inflammatory chemicals. So you have all these dying cells that are literally releasing toxins. Okay, and these inflammatory chemicals accelerate aging and can lead to chronic illness. So you got to make sure that your body, your cells are dying off and getting rid of them. Okay, really important. So low nitric oxide equals chronic disease, hypertension, arteriosclerosis, erectile dysfunction, depression, anxiety, obesity, macular degeneration, type 2 diabetes, Alzheimer's disease, right? All of these diseases are related to aging. Okay. What do we do to increase nitric oxide? Well, you know, I think, Rose, you might probably hit this pretty much every day because being vegetarian, I know I've seen your plate. But man, you need to be doing this every single day, right? Vegetables are the biggest and most important source of dietary nitrates. I don't know, my boys, I don't think they'll be making this kind of salad unless I'm making it for them, okay? So dietary nitrates from green leafy vegetables and beets convert into nitric oxide through the digestive process. And most people don't get enough. The USDA and the World Health Organization, they're recommending 5 servings or 400 grams of fruits and vegetables per day, but over 100 studies from around the world show that we need over 10 servings a day. And that's a challenge, okay? So again, we have a product that contains all of these nutrients from beets, kale, red spinach. It contains these nitric oxide. It helps with that inflammatory response, protects the body, protects your heart, blood pressure, vascular health. You know, clinical trials showed helping with blood pressure in only 4 weeks. Okay. Also, your brain and beets play such a big role in protecting your brain with seniors, and they've noticed that even just one dose can really improve cognitive performance. So this product here called Upbeat, fabulous product for stamina, endurance, circulation, cardiovascular health. I mean, again, nature's antioxidant, and it just really protects your body and helps to slow aging. I am now going to have Wen come on because I like to say I want to be like her when I grow up. Wen, can you join us and share your journey on Neolife and maybe share how long you've been on the products? And you're very active, like very active.
Yes. She said tiredly. Thank you, Nada, for asking me to speak today. I'm quite happy to do that. I'm Wen, and I am 71, but I can only say that for another 2 months, and then I'll be 72. So it just that chronological age just keeps stabbing you. But anyway, I like to think of my biological age, which is, I don't know how much younger. Some days, not as much as I'd like it to be, but most days, yes. I've been on the products since my friend Lynn introduced me to them over 37 years ago. Now, I wasn't on all of them then because they weren't all made, and now I am on all of them. So I consider myself very fortunate. I also watch my diet, but unlike Rose, I'm not a vegetarian, although I love vegetables. There isn't a vegetable that I won't eat. But as my granddaughter says, I'm a meatitarian. So I do try and introduce more plant food just because it's better for the planet. But my body quite likes meat and always has. It's the family I grew up in and did not negatively respond to them, I guess. I don't know. But I'm happy to say that I am very active, and I experienced pain in my life, but I've managed to work through it using some things like physiotherapy and chiropractic and massage just for the health of it. But really, it's always my products that I come back to, and those when I increase, they give me a good response and allow me to decrease them a little bit later. But it kept me going for all these 71 plus years. Well, maybe 37 and a half years. Anyway, thank you for letting me share.
Absolutely. Thank you. And one day I'll get you to her to show you her pipes because she does some
I
weight
don't
training.
know. I'm
No,
hiding
look
them
at her. She's
clothes.
got muscles. She's got muscles. She's able to work out and exercise, and she does regular workouts. And incredible to see her aging gracefully. And I know that the nutrition, Wan, has played such a huge role in your aging process. I want to thank you for sharing your story with us. And now I'm going to have Joan Poon share her journey and her story as well. Joan, can you join us?
Yes, I just wanted to share an incident with you. I've been using the products for 27 years, and I'm a 30-year breast cancer thriver. And I feel better today in my late 60s, so it's not mid anymore, it's late, than I did in my 30s. So today I went to my naturopath to pick up some special products. And I had a new person at the counter, and she looked at me and she wanted to know if I could get the discounts. So she was hesitant to ask me my age. And when I told her I was 68, she kept looking at me. She says, no, no. So anyway, I got the seniors discount, and I must say I've lost 3 years of seniors discount because they look at me and they don't think I'm a senior over 65.
Absolutely.
Anyway, I thought that was a great story today.
That's a great story. Thank you so much for sharing that with us, Joan. And some of you are probably wondering, well, how do I get a hold of these amazing products and get them into me to get my cells healthy and younger? And we have a wellness club. And it's free to become a member. As soon as you join, you get a discount, and you can even qualify to get them at wholesale by going on NeilShip, and you can even get your shipping back. And if you refer people, you get your products for free. And we have fitness challenges and wellness challenges. And anyways, there's so much support, and it's free to become a member. So there's no obligation. And so we do have different health solutions, like we've got the vitality pack, and we've got the breakfast solution and the weight loss solution if you're looking at, shedding a few pounds and replacing 2 meals if you really, want to lose some weight. And we have a vegan option as well when you add it to this amazing vitality pack. We call this a breakfast solution as well, using a plant-based product if you're looking for something more plant-based. And then when you add this product to that breakfast solution that we talked about earlier, this is just like kind of like icing on the cake. It's an amazing product, tastes great. I absolutely love it. And when you add it to this breakfast solution, it just helps to fill those gaps in our diet. I love beets, but I don't eat them every day. Love spinach, I don't eat them every day. So it's just a great way to fill the gaps in our diet, and it tastes so good. Now, some people like to add it to their Neo Life shake. I like to drink it by itself. I have it as a pre-workout product in some cold water. I shake it up, and that's the way I have it. So there's so many different ways of using this amazing product. So and the referral program, again, if you refer 3, you get your breakfast solution free, and it's just a great way to get your products for nothing by sharing good health with others. And we do have another option. And I wanted you to know that, when I looked at this 32 years ago, I wasn't looking for a business. I was working as a police officer. Like I said, I had a great career stability, but I knew that there was something more that I wanted in my life. I wanted time freedom. I wanted to really have an impact and help people. And I didn't know if I could do it where I was. I felt stuck. And as I was helping people and helping my mom and my sister and my friends and family, and I got really excited about sharing, and I saw this as an opportunity to generate a great part-time income with the tax savings at the end of the year. That's all I was interested in initially. So if you were someone really enjoys helping others and having an impact, this has an incredible business opportunity where you can earn extra income on the side, part-time, that does not interfere with what you're presently doing. I didn't think I could do it because I was really tired all the time and shift work, and I did it because it was easy to do. The products got into me and I couldn't help but share. So if you're curious about that, just ask the person that invited you, and I'm sure they'll be able to share with you all the benefits of that side as well. Again, if you're just looking at using the products, becoming a member, we welcome you. If you're thinking about that part-time thing or a side gig, just ask us. If you want to learn more, every Thursday we get together, we pick a different topic and we talk about different things and how we can help you slow aging and maybe help you with some of the other health challenges that you may have. So I do want to thank you for taking the time for joining us tonight. I'll pause the recording and open it up to questions. So thank you again, and have a great evening.